I see it from both sides. If I was a parent, no way.
Yeah.
My kid is not listening to this shit. All right, guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of The Adventures of TNT.
Yes.
So today we are going to be talking about the Satanic Panic and how it relates to 80s metal music.
Okay.
Because I think that was like a resurgence of when the church started getting on young people about the type of music that they listen to. Mm-hmm. And so while I was doing my research on this, I come to find out that there has always been a Satanic Panic because the church was always using fear tactics to scare people in the church. And I know this may have been something that you've experienced.
Yeah.
Because when you were growing up, people would tell you that you were going to hell because...
It wasn't people. It was a person. It was like my mom's friend.
Yeah.
She told me if I didn't do certain things. And it was kind of behind my mom's back.
Right.
Telling me I was going to go to hell if I didn't know how to speak in tongues. And that when God came back, I was going to be left and my head was going to have to be chopped off.
Damn.
Like serious scare tactics to a child. It put, I wouldn't say the fear of God because that's not what you want, but I guess it was an attempt to put the fear of God in me.
Right. Well, you know, it's very interesting because I remember growing up, one of the main reasons why I never listened to rock music or never listened to metal music was because my parents or everyone around me, they would say that this type of music is evil and it's demonic. And they would use images of I guess the album art of the bands.
Like, see?
Yes, see, look
work.
at that. Yeah, this is the devil's work.
Yeah.
And we did a video where we talked about it before. We were talking about bands like Kiss or Iron Maiden or
Kiss.
Metallica or whatever.
Or Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson, where you would see the imagery on the news or the media, and they would say, don't listen to these guys because they're evil and they'll pollute your mind and your kids will turn out wild and reckless. And once we kind of started doing these reactions, we found out that it kind of wasn't the truth. Now, there were some artists out there that actually were Satanists, which you know, I guess people have every right to be afraid of because you wouldn't want your children listening to that type of music. But one of the artists that has always had this brand was Ozzy Osbourne.
With the bat situation when he bit off the
head
of the bat.
Where he bit off the head of the bat.
Yeah.
And so I know growing up, that was always something that was related to him. Like he was an evil Satanist and don't listen to his music.
Yeah.
And I listened to it. I mean, not listen to his music, but I listened to the media as far as not indulging in his music because I was like, you know, his cover albums look evil and he's got fangs and then he bit the head off of a bat. So yeah, I don't want to get into this mess. And so it wasn't until we did Black Sabbath NIB that we found out that it wasn't.
It was bluesy, baby.
It wasn't what we thought.
Yeah, it was good.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I want to do today is I want you to check out some of these other Ozzy songs.
Okay.
And get your thoughts on them.
Okay.
Because I've heard some of them, and I just want to get your take on it. So the first song we're going to be checking out, this is Bark at the Moon. Now, you can imagine in the 80s when this came out, you know.
It doesn't sound too bad, though.
Yeah, well, he may have been playing up that Satanic Panic role. And he's like, I'm a wild beast, and I bark at the moon. Ow! All right, let's go ahead and jump into it, y'all. Oh,
that
man.
was really cool.
All right. So that was Ozzy, Bark at the Moon.
Yeah, I don't see how people would get Satanic Panic from this because this is very fun. I guess the video is fun. Maybe they just heard the song, but I don't think they heard the song as well because this is telling a story about someone who is dealing with a lot of things. And he's seeking revenge because maybe he's just been going through so much. People have been tormenting him.
Right.
And he put it in a way where it's like a wolf or somebody turns into a wolf.
Yeah.
But it's really about the human experience to me.
Yeah.
And Ozzy just had a way of just making this so fun, so funny. He's a really good actor, but the lyrics are really good as well. And if you read the lyrics and you hear the lyrics, there's no way that you can get evilness from this.
Well, I think because you got to think about it.
At the time,
This is in the 80s.
Yeah, and
we just listened to the Eagles, and so you got bands like the Eagles, you got bands like Chicago, you got wholesome music, and then you got this guy dressing up in a werewolf costume, and he's singing "Bark at the Moon" and being a beast and prowling the streets, and so this is completely different from the type of music that the parents of the kids were listening to. But as a teen, you could listen to this and say it sounds catchy. The guitar solos and the riffs are really, really cool.
Yeah.
And you're seeing this wild man.
Though.
Yeah, and it's a good story.
It's a great story.
Right. So when you were saying, when you start going over the lyrics and what the song was actually about, it start making me think about the type of kids that were listening to heavy metal music, which were usually outsiders, rebels, people who felt like they didn't belong. And that's what this song sounds like. It's a reflection of.
Definitely.
People look at you and think you're a beast or a monster.
Yeah.
And they're really going to be afraid when they see you bark at the moon.
Are becoming
who you are. Right, exactly.
Stop hiding in your shell. Or being in the shadows because you aren't like this.
You're not like everyone else. Yeah.
And I think it's important to have music like this because everybody has a different human experience. Growing up, I think people try to steer people in this one way. You have to be a football player or a cheerleader. You have to be this and happy all the time. But as we all know, as humans, we experience an array of emotions, and everything can't be hunky-dory or perfect on the outside. And when you experience those things, it's important to have songs like this that you can identify with. And I think just being like a werewolf is just maybe, I don't think the right word is like a personification, but it's just a different reflection of how you feel.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if that
absolutely.
makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So sometimes you might feel like a werewolf and because you feel different. And I hate that something like Satanic Panic happened because it can really...
I think it censors music.
That's the word. It censors music, and it makes everybody fit into like one little box.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep things going. The next song we're going to be checking out from Ozzy is called Mr. Crowley. Now, I believe this song is about Alexander Crowley, which during his lifetime, I believe they considered him a Satanist.
Okay.
But he founded a religion, like he practiced the occult or studied the occult, and he founded the religion of Thelma, but none of his teachings was really about Satanism. But I think that for many Christians and for many people, if you're not a Christian or if you're anti-Christian, you're a Satanist.
Well, I don't think having a different religion makes you an anti-Christian, but I guess
having a different religion does make you an anti. Well,
no, it doesn't.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe to some Christians it does.
Right. Yeah. Well, essentially that's what it is. Like if you're not a Christian, you're going to hell, or you just worship Satan or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, you're right.
I got you.
Right. So let's go ahead and jump into this song, Mr. Crowley.
Nice. Who was the guitarist in this?
So the guitarist in this was Randy Rhoads.
Okay, Randy Rhoads.
And yeah, he is
amazing.
He is off the chain.
I think he really showed his skills in
this. He was
showing out.
He was showing out.
Yeah.
He was definitely showing out in this song. All right, so this was an amazing song. It's incredibly haunting. I noticed you picked up like
feel haunting
to
me.
They had like the organ in there, and to me that was kind of like, you know.
I guess you never been to church. They play the organ all the time.
Nah,
the organ doesn't feel haunting, but it does give it a vibe.
Yeah,
it gives it a vibe.
What kind of vibe did you get from it? Did it feel evil to you?
No, it didn't feel evil. It felt like he was telling a very interesting story.
Yeah.
what was interesting is he was asking a lot of questions, as if he was asking, like, Mr. Crowley was right in front of him and asking him questions like, what went on in your head?
Right.
Did you talk to the dead? Are all these things true that people are saying about you? And it's so interesting.
In a way, it kind of comes off as like he's a reporter or he's the media.
Okay.
You know?
All right. That's an interesting perspective. I can see how that could be true.
Because as I said in the research that I was looking up, Mr. Crowley, he wasn't a Satanist, but he followed the occult and he started his own religion. And so for anyone who is, and he was against Christianity because his parents are Christian. So for anyone who is a Christian, they would see that and they would say, okay, he's evil, he's satanic.
Yeah.
And then I could see how it would fall back on Ozzy because Ozzy's making a song about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He playing it up a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
I see you,
Okay.
Ozzy.
Right.
Yeah. This was an interesting song. Great storytelling from like an inquisitive point of view.
Okay.
And it also could be like maybe a follower asking this, or maybe somebody who's against this as well.
Right.
Because he called him Mr. Charming and asked, did you think you were pure? And then called him Mr. Alarming. So he was giving him all these different names to describe this person. And maybe it was also like questions that people had themselves in their
about
mind.
Who he was.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then you know how people are very imaginative, and they make up stuff in their head and just make it worse. And I heard he did this, and I heard he spoke to the dead, and I heard he, and then it just blows.
It blows up. Yeah, it turns into more than what it is.
And especially since he grew up in a Christian household, and I think what people don't understand is not everybody's experience with Christianity is good, and because of that, he grew up being an anti-Christian, and that doesn't necessarily make him a bad person, but it is strange that he started another religion instead of just being not religious at all.
Well, I think that he had did his own research, and he started another religion off of what he felt.
Yeah.
And so it could have been legitimate, or he could be like so many other people out here, and it could have been business motivated.
Yeah, or he could have been a prophet,
Well, that's what he considered
himself.
Because that's what he considered himself, a prophet.
Oh.
You look at his wiki.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But that's how most religion starts.
But
they hear something from a higher power.
Right, exactly.
And if people believe it, and it catches on, I mean, because Jesus was the Son of God, but in some religions, Jesus was a prophet.
Right.
And so that's how religions are born. And so it could be, just imagine, like 50,000 years from now, or even maybe 1,000,000 years from now, there could be different religions, and Christianity could not be one of them. It's very possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back to the Satanic Panic, if you were a parent in the 80s, and your kid was rocking Ozzy Osbourne, out of the songs that we've listened to,
that's not fair to say, because I don't have the mindset of an 80s parent. Because I've been exposed to so many things, like the internet and the access to education and just the perspective that I have. And not saying that people in the 80s didn't have it, but it wasn't as...
Oh, they definitely didn't have it.
Not as much.
No, they had Encyclopedia Britannica. That was how you were getting in the library. That was how you were getting all your information.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the books were biased, and they didn't have a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah. So you could... But there are some open-minded people in the 80s, so I can't say...
If I was a parent in the 80s, or... What generation was that? Was that before, like, the Boomer generation?
You talking about Generation?
Yeah, because Generation X would have been listening to this. So who are the parents of Generation X?
And Boomers.
They were Boomers?
Yeah.
Really?
Gen X parents are Boomers, baby. The Boomers had Millennials and Gen Xers.
Oh, okay. Well, if I was a parent in the 80s, my kid wouldn't be listening to this.
Okay.
No Ozzy for you.
All right. I mean, that's fair. But my thing is, listening to it for myself, but I think a lot of people went on about, like, judging the book by its cover.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. See a man in a werewolf outfit on the cover of his album.
I mean, they're your children. You rear them the way that you deem fit, and you want to protect them. And, so I get it.
Right, exactly.
I get it.
Kids would be like, you don't understand, Dad. He's not evil. He's just singing a song and telling a story.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't give a damn. Turn it off.
I mean, yeah, and you gotta think.
I see it from both sides. If I was a parent, no way. My kid is not listening to this shit.
And you say you do what you want when you grow up.
Right, yeah.
But it's the parents' responsibility to do what's best for their children. So I get it.
Yeah. My kid is gonna listen to the
But
Eagles.
they're gonna listen to you. Okay.
To the
but
Eagles.
I mean, the thing is access. You can't watch your children all the time.
Right,
and so they'll find a way.
Yeah, that's why you gotta whoop them.
No, that's abuse.
Oh, yeah. All right, scratch that. Edit that out. Anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. We'd love to hear if you were listening to this music when you were growing up. We'd love to hear what you were going through, what your parents thought of this music, what your friends and your friends' parents thought of this music, because I'm pretty sure everybody was flipping out or everybody had different perspectives on it. But as always, like this video, subscribe to the channel, join the Patreon. That way you can have full access to all of our reactions. And join the Discord.
Be able to watch the reaction too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, join our Discord community. We have an awesome growing Discord community. Yes. And we share pictures and music, and we share stories as well. Yes. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.